Ladies and gentlemen, here we go. Welcome everyone. Welcome to the live stream. It has been quite a journey to get here. We have a lot to talk about tonight, so I am excited. Everyone is here. You can see we got a lot of people in the chat tonight. Good evening, everyone. Some 2, and we got 10. Awelsani. Looks like we have Lars Jensen as well. I don't know if you're Danish, sound Danish to me. And even more guys. And tonight is very special because 2, 3, almost 4 months of hard work is getting published. And we're gonna show you guys how this is gonna change the crypto industry and allow people to bridge money from their bank into crypto without using a centralized exchange. So this is all happening tonight, and our team has worked very hard to make this possible. And you know, this was always a plan of ours, but once we realized, you know, with FTX blowing up and all these counterparties getting blown up, that there's no way if crypto will ever succeed, it's not gonna happen in a centralized fashion. It has to be a decentralized movement. Hello, Albert, good to see you. Welcome to the live stream, guys. So, by the way, let's just make sure that the sound is good, that you can hear me. There's no robot voices. We have had challenges with that in the past. All right, before we get started with the unveil, let's just have a quick look at the market. We got US open in 30 minutes. We got SPX here below neutral level, consolidating. It's not a great sign. It's probably gonna head low, and we talked about this. At the start of this week, just how the wicks DXY is looking. Yeah, looks like it's calling, getting ready for something. So we'll see. Guys, if you have any trading questions, if you have anything of that nature, please let me know. Put your questions in the chat. Hang on, let me just pop out this window here. Okay, guys. So, companion world. This is gonna be published, rolling out to iOS first, coming to Android, just because Android is a little bit slower to update, and then the Chrome extension. So this is all pushed out this week, and I thought we should have a go at it. So what we have here in front of us is a companion wallet loaded with Solana. And in our gateway, we now have a new app we can access, which is the peer-to-peer market. And if we click here and we have a look, we actually have the ability to buy USDC from... Can't hear me. Are you sure? Let me check. No voice? Are you sure? You're just trolling me, I think, Martin, huh? Oh, when the team members troll you. Oh, that's great. Okay, guys. So, coming back to it. Voice should be fine. So, we are interested in buying USDC and paying with bank transfer. And as we go to the peer-to-peer market, we have the ability to either buy USDC or sell it if we have USDC. Now, we don't have any USDC. I just want to confirm, just go back. We have 0 USDC in our wallet. The only thing we have is a bit of Solana. So we go back to the peer-to-peer marketplace and we look at these two cells. We have Bob. We got Bob listing two ads for USDC. So let's say that I'm interested in buying all his USDC. So that's 100 USDC that I want to buy from this user on the peer-to-peer market. So what I do is I click buy USDC, and then the order automatically starts. And if I go to my orders, you'll see that I now have an active order here with Bob saying that I need to contact him on Telegram. So I'll do that. I'll go find Bob, and his contact information is Martin @ Martin _. So I'll send Martin a message. Hey, I ordered your USDC. And then, you know, if you're on the iOS app or Android app, you will get, you know, like a push notification to your phone, and you will know when something is happening. But on the web version, we don't have those notifications implemented right now. It will instead be email and SMS, because when it comes to browser applications, you can't really do push notifications the same way you can do with mobile. So the best is SMS alert or email alert. Okay, so let's see. Let's see if this guy has moved forward with our order. We can see we have a notification. Okay, so now Martin has shared with us his payment details, and he has accepted me as a customer. He's happy with the order, and I now get a total price of 101.5 USDC. So I'm gonna go to my bank, and I'm gonna fill in Martin's information, and I'm gonna transfer 101.5 USDC to Martin. And then I'm gonna notify him. I'm gonna notify Martin that the payment has been sent. So what I will do is I'll now confirm that I have sent the payment. And now we basically have to wait for Martin to receive that bank transfer. And usually that would take a few hours. But we have, of course, like in the cooking shows, prepared from home. So all I have to do now is pretty much wait for Martin to confirm that he has received my payment, and he will release the USDC to me. The beauty of it is that I am at no risk right now. I have sent Martin money. Even though I never met him before, I have no idea who he is, I've sent him money because his USDC, these 100 USDC that I am buying from him, they are actually locked up in escrow right now. And the USDC being locked up in escrow means that Martin can access it and I can access it. The only way that this money gets released to me that I have bought from him is that we both accept that the transaction is finished. Now, if Martin receives my bank transfer and he's like, okay, so I'm just, now I got USDC and I got the money in my bank. I don't have to, I don't have to do anything. He can't really cheat or scam me anyway because his money is locked. So if something did not go according to plan, I could start a dispute. And when you start a dispute, the companion team will engage with both parties and figure out, what happened here and how do we come to a resolution. And because that we have the money in escrow that was being traded, it means that we can always make a fair, a fair solution and give the right person the money after we have enough evidence of what really happened here. And that is some very strong music. Let's move on. Okay. Now, let's see if let's refresh one more time and check. And it looks like the order is already complete. So if I go to my wallet now and I refresh, I have 100 USDC. I just moved money from my bank account to crypto without using a centralized exchange. This is going to be the path forward for people to move money into crypto. Because what is happening across the world is that all the centralized exchange are basically teaming up with the governments around the world. They're tracking all the users, they're tracking all their citizens, they're delivering all information about their users. There's no privacy. And worst of all, there's no trust. Because if a company like FTX that was invested by BlackRock and Sequoia, working with US regulators, had personal meetings with, they had all this going from. If they could pull off a scam, a centralized scam like this, and scam so many people with a centralized exchange, there's no way we can ever be sure again that a centralized entity is not doing the same. They're just too good. The scam is just too good at this point. So the only way we can really start to go around this huge problem with centralized exchange that crypto was meant to fix. Bitcoin was a peer-to-peer exchange. It was a peer-to-peer network allowing people to transact with each other without a third party. And then we introduced the third party, which was the centralized exchange. And then we got screwed over so many times. Mt. Gox and now FTX. And there's so many other small exchanges that has been hacked or scammed or whatever. So it's a huge problem. So this is going to allow people to easily move money into crypto. But the best part about this is that you and I can actually make like a very fair amount of money from just transacting and doing arbitrage, allowing new people to come into crypto while paying with people in their local currency in their country, like their bank or whatever. So let's do another example. Now this time we are gonna sell the USDC. So we have 100 USDC in our wallet. Let's go back and just confirm one more time. We have 100 USDC in our wallet, and we would like to sell these 100 USDC to actual USD cash in my bank, right? Get the money out of crypto. Usually you would go to a centralized exchange and you would send them your money, do KYC with them, and then withdraw it. Let's see how it works in the companion peer-to-peer marketplace. So I go to the peer-to-peer marketplace and I go to ads. I create an ad. Now here I have the option. What is it I'm trying to do? I'm trying to buy USDC or I'm trying to sell? Okay, well, I'm trying to sell. So I'm gonna select sell. And I'm selling for USD. So I'm selling USDC token for USD. So now I need to enter the price per token that I'm willing to sell at. So what am I actually willing to sell my USDC at? And I think a 1% fee is pretty good. So we'll do 1.01. And we'll go to the next step. So now I said, how much of it do I actually want to sell? Well, we want to sell the max. And as you can see down here, let's try to zoom in a little bit on this. As you can see down here in the left corner, we have a fee of 0.15%. Now this fee is a variable. It depends on how many companion tokens that you have in your wallet. So if you have, this is boosting our entire companion staking program and membership program. So depending on how many companion tokens you have, you'll get a lower fee. Now in my case, I don't actually have companion tokens on this wallet, so I'm getting the base fee of 0.15%. That means I'm gonna pay this amount in fee. So that's why I'm not getting the full amount here. But the most important part is that if you look a little bit closer, it says companion burned. So below the fee of 15 cents that I'm paying for this transaction, actually half of this fee is getting converted into a buy and burn program. So every time you transact, or every time someone transacts, half of the fee that companion earns will be used to buy and burn tokens. So that should help a little bit. Anyway, so we have 95.85. And now I need to specify my payment method. So I'm gonna say bank. I'm gonna put, let's see, what can I put? A bank. I'll put my Wise Bank. I'll put a number here. It's not necessarily correct, but it will serve as for tonight's purpose. please contact me on Telegram after payment has been completed. There we go. So now we create the ad. Next song. This house is strong tonight. Okay, back to the... So now if we go and look, I should have an ad under my cell. And you can see I now have a posted ad here showing I'm selling USDC to USD. This is the price. This is the quantity. This is what is remaining, because people can also buy less than the total amount that you put. So if you put, let's say, $1,000 and someone only want to buy $100, they can buy $100 if you allow them. That's why it had a minimum section when we created that. Okay, we need to go back to the basics here. Here we go. That's it. Okay. So what we need to do now is that I basically need to wait for someone to come and buy. And this happens, you know, as people, they need it and as we boost users. But I'm basically waiting for Martin or someone to contact me on Telegram so we can transact. So right now, you know, if you go back to my wallet and you refresh here, even though the transaction is not complete right now, you will see that my USDC balance is 0. And the reason my USDC balance is 0 is because it has been moved to companion escrow while the trade is happening. Because that means that the money is there. So when someone sees my ad, oh, you can see I now have a order from Bob, and I have the ability to have a look at Bob's profile. I can see he has 2 trades before. This guy seems, you know, overall very trustworthy guy, you know. So I have 2 options. I can either accept the order, I can reject it. And you can see I have his contact method here, so we can be in contact directly and sort out any small details. So now I've accepted the order. That means that Bob receives on his phone a notification that the trade is now active, and he now has to pay me on my bank. So now I need to wait. Now I need to wait for Martin to contact me and say that and tell me that he has transferred money. So I just got a message here from Martin, even though his name is Bob on the side. I got a message here from Martin saying that the money has been sent. So I'll go check my bank account. You know, go check my bank account. Did I receive the money? How much was I supposed to receive? Yes, it's in the bank. Great. Money received, and that means I can now click payment received, release tokens. And as I do this, in just a few seconds, this entire transaction is complete, and the money, I have money in my bank account. Bob or Martin has money in his companion wallet, and everyone is happy. And if I go to the peer-to-peer marketplace and I go to historical orders, I can go here and I can leave feedback. I can say, nice guy, fast to transact. And then I can hit the feedback. And you can see that now his trades are gone up by 3. So that is the peer-to-peer market in its earliest stage. And it's a beauty, in my opinion. The functionality of this, given the contrast of last year with all these bad parties that blew up and lost so many people's money, what we need to do is we need to build technology that allows people to hold on to their own money and protect their own money, while they still have the option to move in and out of, you know, crypto or cash or have money in their bank, whatever they want. And the beauty of this is that when you transact personally, you know, directly with another person, you have the privacy of that transaction between you and that other party. No one else is keeping track of that. So that is the whole idea behind this. The whole idea is just like local Bitcoins powered, the early start of, Bitcoin transacting when people wanted to move money around. The same way the peer-to-peer market is taking over slowly, allowing people to move money in and out of crypto in a very efficient way and at a very good price. And people can even make money on this. You can build a business on this. And we also burn companion tokens at the same time. And I think this is great. I think this is really great. Of course, this is the first release, guys. So I think we can, of course, there's many things we can improve. There's a lot of things that we can do. But for now, this remained the first peer-to-peer market on the Solana network that has been launched, where you can transact wallet to wallet and you don't have to worry about getting scammed. So that is just, very significant. Okay, guys. So if you have any questions to this, please let me know in the chat. And I can see we already got a bunch of comments here. Yeah, guys, I agree. Peer-to-peer is magic. This is good work from the companion team. If anything makes sense, this is what really makes sense to us. So this is why we prioritized it, and that's why we built it, because crypto is never going to go anywhere if we don't fix the way to onboard money into crypto, right? If we just started building a centralized exchange to allow new people coming into crypto, to move their money through us and so on, it would just be making the same mistakes as happened in 2013 with Mt. Gox and then 2022 with FTX. So we have to take a new path. We have to build tech that is going to make a real difference. And I think this will do. And you might notice as well that it's a little bit faster, everything, the wallet and so on. And if your wallet in Companion is still a little bit slow, do me a favor and just go to your settings, go to your wallet, go to the seed phrase, copy the seed phrase, and then import existing wallet, and then put in the seed phrase and import it again. So if your wallet is slow, do this. Copy the seed phrase into a new wallet. And I know it seems a little bit silly, but the reason it works is because of how the nodes and node propagation work in the Solana ecosystem. So try that. Good to see that people like it, guys. I realized that things have been a little bit slow for us, and with the token as well, everyone would like the token was up in much higher price, but this is the situation we're in, and sometimes you just gotta wait it out. Our mission is just to make sure that we can continue to build and we can continue to work on this, and people can hold on to their investment in Companion, and they can see that we're making progress, and they can see the way this is going. Of course, this takes time. It definitely takes time. It is something that is difficult, and I will say, after FTX imploded in 2022, there was some, that disrupted our plans quite a bit. That was a pretty heavy blow. Our entire ecosystem and everyone that we pretty much was working with and so on, they were from that part of the ecosystem. So it means that we have to build new ways, and we have to rethink how we're going to do everything. And what we decided to do back then was okay, so why did this happen with FTX? Well, it happened because people gave them their money and trusted them, right? Okay, so how can people move money into crypto without trusting decentralized exchange? They can't. They actually can't. Almost all of the peer-to-peer markets are based on centralized exchanges where you got to hold the money on that exchange. So this is probably the first decentralized peer-to-peer release. Probably. I think that's pretty cool. Okay, Avasani is asking, how can I build a business around this peer-to-peer? Secondly, what methods has been put in place to settle disputes so that mistakes are not made to credit the wrong party? And the rates will be official buying rates of a country and buying and selling on the peer-to-peer. Okay, so let's break this down. How can you make money from peer-to-peer marketing? Well, the way that anyone makes money in the world is that they have something to sell that someone else is willing to pay for. Then the question is how much they're willing to to pay for it. And in your case, a lot of people is going to be interested to buy crypto from you directly without using a centralized exchange. And they have many reasons for that. One reason is privacy. And that's a pretty big reason. Another reason is just more like the convenience. A lot of countries, do not really allow their users to, the citizens. A lot of countries don't really allow their citizens to work in crypto, or have made it illegal for them, or have banned them from being able to basically move money into crypto. So in many countries, people are looking for different ways to get money into crypto because it's actually really hard for a lot of people. And because it's really hard for people, they're willing to pay you a premium price if you do a transaction with them. And this can be as high as like 4%, 5% you can make. So what do you do? Well, what you need is that you need to have money on a centralized exchange somewhere, and it doesn't really matter which one it is. What you need to do is that you need to go into your local market of your country. So if, let's say, I'm Danish, so I would use Danish crowns. That's like our local currencies, right? So let's go to the gateway for a second here, right? So I would create an ad, and then I have the option for all these different currencies. So if I'm Danish, right, I'll use Danish crowns. So now I'm looking at making an ad where I'm either buying USDC with Danish crowns or I'm selling USDC for Danish crowns. Now, either way, what is really happening here is that I am making an ad for someone else to interact with. So in this case, I don't have any USDC. So I'd like to buy USDC. And in here, I need to enter the price of the token. So we need to figure out what is USDC worth in Danish crowns. And then I also need to find out, what is a fair price to pay, or, to list the token at. And that's not so difficult really, because all you got to do is really just convert USDC as USD to Danish crowns, and then figure out, after you have bought USDC with Danish crowns, how can you repeat this process? Meaning that how can you sell the USDC and get Danish crowns back, so you can make another ad and put it at a 2 or 3% markup in the price, and then repeat that process. That is how you build a business out of it. You're building a business out of this by making ad for selling or buying what other people are trying to buy and sell. And then you're just working on being competitive on that price. And that is what's going to allow you to earn percentage. Now, of course, right now it's like crypto winter. So it's not as requested. There's not that many people looking to get money into crypto. There's maybe more people looking to get money out of crypto. And that's where you can facilitate a service where you basically become the person that allows people to sell to your currency. So if you are in, let's say, Nigeria or South Africa, and you have a bank, you already have a bank connection to, let's say, Binance, or could be Bitfinex, or it could be Bitstamp, or any exchange really, then what your job is to receive money on your local bank account in Nigeria and put that money, move that money with a bank transfer to an exchange, and then reload that money that you want to sell. So let's say we have $1,000 in a Nigerian bank. I'm gonna wire this to either Binance or to, let's say, Bitfinex. And the reason I'm wiring this money is because I want to buy as cheap as possible. So I'm wiring $1,000 to Bitfinex. And when this $1,000 arrive at Bitfinex, I now have this money available on an exchange. So when someone else in Nigeria is, interested to buy any sort of cryptocurrency, I can pretty much figure out exactly what they want and put an ad for it, and then just wait for them to buy it. And all I gotta do is make sure that the price I take is, a small fee or something that works for me, that is cheaper in the end game, in the end run, is cheaper than it is for me to wire that money again to Bitfinex and buy the crypto again. So this is all about optimizing. It's really arbitrage at the end of the day. And this is something that thousands of people have built a business on. So it's really something you can consider, because there is a huge hole in the market right now. And that hole in the market is for people to move money from their bank account or cash into crypto. Now, we need to make people aware that this is a new gateway where people can get crypto. We have to make people aware of that. And that's gonna take, it's gonna take effort. But the cool thing is that, remember how we had the referral program and we introduced this, refer a friend? Well, the referral program now works with the peer-to-peer market. So when you refer someone else to the companion app, meaning you copy this URL, you send it to, someone else, and they sign up using your unique link, and they create a wallet and so on, right? Like the usual. When this person now goes to the peer-to-peer market and make a transaction, the fee of that transaction you will earn all the way up to, I think it's, what is the tier? All the way up to 40% of that fee. So that's pretty good. And that is where you can make money. So imagine that you can start a movement where you go around and you're sharing your referral code to other people. They download the companion app. They have an AI advisor to help them figure out how they should be investing their money, how they should go about their personal finance, and all of these things. And once these people are ready to transact or move money into crypto or move money out of crypto, depending on what does their actual, what is their situation and what do they actually need. Well, once this happens, they're going to go to the peer-to-peer marketplace and they're going to transact there. So that is what's happening here. We're building, the railroad, and the railroad is going to allow huge liquidity to move in and out of crypto. And I think, that's something really special, because we can create jobs, we can earn that fee instead of the centralized exchange earning the fee from everyone moving money into crypto or transacting. Instead of the centralized exchange earning that money, we can actually let everyday people earn that money just by supporting their local people in the area, which transacted the same payment method. Either it's bank transfer, or maybe you have some, digital system you use for money, or some online banking system for that specific country. I don't know. There's lots of countries and there's a lot of different payment methods, available across the world. And that's why it's so cool with the peer-to-peer marketplace, because it's not just a bank transfer. It's not just, you can also offer credit card transaction. You can offer PayPal. You can offer people to meet meet in person and pay with cash. You can, and you can imagine, there's a lot of people out there that's very interested to meet with you and pay you cash for crypto. Why are they interested in that? Okay. I mean, I'm not going to get too deep into that, but there's a lot of people, who don't trust the governments anymore, and and for good reasons, they don't trust the governments. I mean, it makes perfect sense if people don't want to trust governments in today's world. So if people choose to have cash and transact in cash, they can create an ad where the payment method is that they meet in person in that country, and maybe they're willing to pay 5%, maybe they're even willing to pay 10% over the normal price just to meet in person and transact in cash. And there's there's numerous reasons why people will be willing to do this. It could also be a red flag, for money laundering or something like this. But at the end of the day, this is like what's happening every day in the normal world. People have cash, they meet with each other and they transact. They figure out something they want to, exchange for. Maybe they have like a MacBook for $2,000 that some guy is selling, and they want to meet with him and give him cash for the MacBook. Well, that transaction doesn't get recorded, anywhere else. And that is how it should be. Sovereign individuals should have the ability to transact with each other and remain and own their privacy to that transaction. It should not be shared. That's how the world has always worked. And it's only in the very recent years that the politicians and the governments around the world has gone totally crazy trying to control every aspect of our life. So we got to do something. And this is what we're doing. We are building and we're releasing our peer-to-peer marketplace, allowing sovereign individuals to transact and own their privacy. Okay, Lars Jensen. Today we're talking about Companion, which is a sister company of Breakfree Trading. I think Lars is a Breakfree trader, and usually we talk a lot about trading, but today is a special day because we are releasing a big update to the Companion app, and this big update allows people to basically move money into crypto without using these centralized exchanges that have lost people's money over and over again. So maybe it's time to talk a little bit about trading, guys. I can talk about Companion very long, but what I see right now is that US market opened 7 minutes ago and it's already bleeding. So I wonder, what is Bitcoin doing? Because last time I looked at Bitcoin, it's maybe like 2 hours ago or 1 hour ago, and I saw it was doing some kind of, that does not look healthy. Whenever you have some kind of strong candle like this immediately pulled down like this, curving down, very bad sign. That's a very bad sign. I think it looks like overall that a lot of these markets are ready for some pullback here. So the question is, which support do we buy and which markets do we buy? So let's try to explore that. And guys, if you have any questions, feel free to pop them in the chat. I remember last week we spoke about Ethereum, and I had a thesis that Ethereum would have room to move up to 1750. It didn't quite get there. It got to, so last time we spoke was the 18. So that was here. So there was actually a pretty good move up, but not enough strength. Okay, next on. So I want to bring a little bit of context on what I know what's going on with Ethereum right now. Why is it so weak? And basically earlier this year, there was a really big hack of a crypto bridge. And this guy, I think it was $400 million worth he stole. And he's basically been market selling for the past 2 days or 3 days. So that's why Ethereum BTC pair is like completely nuked. Yeah. And I think he has still plenty left. So that's just how it is. That is just how it is, unfortunately. So I you know, I don't know how much more upside crypto has left here. I don't. I think there's a very decent chance on cryptocurrencies here that they're gonna pull back from here and just start some sideways stuff, and they'll probably allow for a lot of altcoins to do some moves. It really depends on how hard it pulls back. If it's just gonna bleed out like this very slow, it's very bad. This is very bad if this would be the case. The best case would probably be that it just goes straight from here in a quick move and then something like this. That would probably be the best case. Even worst case would be if it continued down from here. That's not a great error. But if it continues down from here to 17.5, oh, that would be really painful for a lot of people. That would be really, really, really painful for a lot of people. I would not be surprised at all. So yeah, 20K will give us a very good indication of what to pay attention to, how much strength is left in this market, and what's gonna happen. But yeah. This is probably heading to 37.50. Maybe even lower than that, I don't know. But you can see the Wix is up a little bit today. Not much, but a little bit. This can very quickly turn into a big move. And again, the VIX, if you don't know what the VIX is the volatility index. It kind of shows us the typical behaviors of the market. You can see that there's like these moves down, move down, move up, move down, move up, move down and up. And that is really just the volatility, right? That is really just the volatility. So if the Wix goes up, doesn't mean that stock's necessarily going down. It just means that there's high volatility. And high volatility means that the price moves a lot. It means that most of the time, when volatility starts to kick in, market makers operating in the market will either stop their liquidity provision or they will just fin it. So let's say that if you have very low volatility, maybe they're willing to buy $10-100 million of inventory, you know, over like a period of 15 minutes or 1 hour, depending on their size. What happens is that when the VIX goes up, which means that there's volatility, which is that the price is moving a lot. A lot of times, market makers like this, let's say they will go from being willing to buy those $100 million worth of inventory to, let's say, 10 instead, or 5 or 0. So that's why suddenly it can just get a huge move out of nowhere. And and you don't understand because you're looking at the market and it's looking very strong, and then suddenly it's so weak, and you're like, what happened? And that is just the nature of markets. They're the perfect device for transferring money from, you know, the impatience to the patient people. It is just incredibly good at that. Some of the people that like I really look up to, one of the guys, his name is Travis Kling. He ran $100 million hedge fund. And this guy was good, you know, really good. He had a big team. He's been in crypto since, I don't know, 14, 15, something like that, 2014, 15. And he was getting ready to buy the dip on crypto. So he was full in cash. He moved basically the entire fund's capital onto FTX, waiting for the dip. And basically lost all of that. Close to $100 million. And this is like a repeated story. It happens again and again and again. And it's the same problem every time. We are not following the rules of crypto, which is don't trust, verify. Don't trust what people say, just verify it with code. And yeah, very unfortunate for so many people with this FTX mess. Like it really destroyed the industry and the people, and there's a lot of people got hurt. It's gonna take some time to repair. And that's also why, guys, like we're not in a rush here. You know, we're not in a rush. What we're trying to do is we're trying to build great tech. So when the time come again, and it will, people say like crypto is dead and so on. I heard it so many times. It's never dead. It's never going away. So for the next cycle, and there will be a next cycle, we will be ready, and we will have the tools for people to protect their own money and move money in and out of crypto without using centralized exchanges as a central point of failure. All we can do is really just look at what went wrong this time and how can we do it much better for next time. So that is what we're doing. Oh, I can see we got a message here, a comment here from Sebastian. He says he's using peer-to-peer on Binance, and it's even better on Companion. Well, that's great to hear. That's great to hear. So yeah, guys. I was only asking, will the next bull run extend to 2025? I can't tell you. It's very hard this time. I'm not trying to be bearish on crypto or something, but I don't think we're done yet. Like, I don't think it could be, it could be, but I don't think this was the bottom of crypto. I think we could easily go a little bit more, 25K or 30K or something, and then come back down. But I think there's too much political pressure right now, and that will force the Federal Reserve to act in a certain way that's going to move markets down. And I think they have a lot of room to still move down. So the next bull run, well, guys, we are in a recession. They're saying we're going into a recession. We are in a recession. It is pretty bad. It's going to get really bad. And we haven't seen, like, many generations have never seen anything like we're about to experience. So I think we are in the very early slowdown of everything, and I think it's gonna get much worse. So when the next bull run, well, the thing is, the next bull run, 2025, it could be 2025, could be 2026, could also be could potentially be next year. But it all really depends on everything else happening in the market, you know, like everything else happening across the world. If they start to go crazy with printing money, like if they really start going crazy with quantitative easing again and printing a lot of money, could come back very fast. But so far, all the indications and everything that we have read from the Fed indicate that they're going for a 90-80s repeat, a textbook double W bottom. I've been studying this quite a bit. Let's see if we have anything I can show you about this. So what I can tell you is that the Federal Reserve is literally operating out of like a textbook. Okay, they have like a manual that says like what they should do, and they're just following it. So if you go read this manual and you read about how they killed the inflation last time, let's see if we can find. Let's see if we can find this. What was the name? So if you go actually read history, here, okay. So what they did back then, I wish I was a little bit better prepared for this, but what they did back then, the Fed, back in the 80s, following the 70s, which was like a tough years, what they did was that once they had tightened enough and they had, you know, really just pushed everything down as fast as they could with rates, they took it completely off. And they just lowered the rate, and they kept lowering and lowering, and we got this huge bounce, which of course is not the greatest representation of that I can do, but this is all textbook. This is what it says in the textbook. And they got this huge bounce over like a year and a half, and the only reason they really did this was to buy some more time to bring inflation down. So after they did this, and they actually turned the rates back on again and signaled to the market that they were gonna punish the market even further again, and then they had this down spiral once again. And this is what they call a textbook bottom. So if you go read the books that these people are operating from, it will say the same, that this is the same way that they're gonna battle it this time. So they're probably gonna raise the rates a little bit more. That's gonna mean that more pressure on the markets. It's gonna allow them to get, you know, this kind of event, the same event that we saw 2019 on SPX. Let's see if we can go find it here. 2019. Probably have to go weekly for that. Here we are. So basically what happened, and this, I remember trading this, and I was like, what? I really couldn't, I was really surprised that they would change policy so fast. So what happened was that going into 2020, they basically the Fed came out and said that, you know, it looked a little bit unsustainable, everything, and they're going to raise the rate to temper the markets a tiny bit. And this brought this huge sell-off. I'm sorry. Sorry. This is the. I'm looking at the wrong one. This is the COVID crash. My bad, guys. Here into 2000. Where do we have it? Yeah, this one. Going into 2019. My bad. Here we are. And they basically, they came into 2019 saying they're gonna raise the rates, temper the markets a little bit, and it caused this huge sell-off in the market. Just for the Fed to come out and say, I mean, it was like 2 or 3 months later that they said, okay, you know what, guys, everything is looking pretty good now. We're gonna lower the rates, turn QE back on, let's go. And they literally flipped like that. And the market just bounced. As you can see, it was relentless. It just kept going and going and going and going. And that's the same thing that's gonna happen this time. They're just gonna flip. So they have a target. There's something that they wanna, they want to reach. They have goals. Maybe it's set by the politicians or whatever. They have a job to do. And they're gonna fulfill that job. And that means nuking the market even more. And when they deem the right time, they will ease. And you're gonna see a huge reversal, just like here. And then they're gonna let it go on for a little bit, and they're gonna once again hike the rate, and then it's gonna nuke again. And then after that, that is where you go long on everything. You buy everything. You go along on everything. This will be a multi-generational opportunity. Now, I don't know the time frame of this. I don't know the time frame for them actually to, if it's 5 years or 6 years. What I do know is that cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, specifically Bitcoin, absolutely loves quantitative easing. It loves QE. And it hates no QE. It hates, and cryptocurrency has never operated in an environment before where we didn't have quantitative easing. The entire goal for Bitcoin was to exist as a weapon against politicians, the governments around the world. So as they continued to print money, people had an alternative payment system, asset system that they could move their money into. That was the whole goal. With them stopping quantitative easing, meaning printing money, and doing what they're doing now, it was never tested for this, never seen anything like this. So I don't think we're done yet. I think this is a very nice bounce, and I think it's, look how far look how deep we went, right? But I think don't get complacent here. Don't go crazy. Be mindful that this is not the traditional environment that we have been trading or that we have been aware of for the past 20 or 40 years it's been. So this is something very new, and that's why we're probably going to see some new things as well. But keep this general plan in mind that we're going to see this W bottom, we're going to see a nuke, and then we're going to see them easing into that, and that will create some bounce, and that's just going to go up and up and liquidate all the shorting people. Everyone's shorting, and then after a little bit of a while they'll most likely hike the rates again, and you'll see a pullback. Just keep that in mind, keep that plan in mind, because if you execute on this plan, you have a really good opportunity to buy like excellent stocks or excellent cryptocurrencies or anything. Like, it's not just cryptocurrency and stocks, it's also a house, cars, anything that you might really be interested in. This will be your best opportunity. Okay, guys, I can see that we only got 2 minutes left. I can't believe I've been talking for for 1 hour straight. So what do I want to leave you with? Ending today, tomorrow, whenever Apple and Google have time, you will see an update to the companion app. You'll have an opportunity to download the new update and participate in the new peer-to-peer market. And what I would love for you to do is to go, whatever country you're based in, I would love for you to go and offer people to buy and sell with you in that country you're placed, whatever your local currency is. And it's perfectly fine for you to take 1, 2, or 3% fee for whatever it is, because in the beginning of building a market, it's all about just getting market participants. Then after you have market participants, they will all start to work competitively against each other, creating a better, what can you say, an even better price for the user, because you will be competing with other people. If you're taking a 3% fee on your USDC trades, then maybe someone's willing to do 2%, maybe someone's willing to do 1.5%. So you need to find what is right for you, what is good for you, where you can make money, and then just post that. So yeah, guys, thank you for coming to the live stream tonight. Keep an eye out for our announcement, keep an eye out for the update, and I hope to see you next week. All right, guys, thank you so much for coming tonight. I'll see you around. Bye bye.